Hey, hello everyone, welcome back. Hold on, I'm 10 minutes late, and that is fine. Okay. Welcome back. Today is Saturday, slow Saturday, but we're somehow getting a pump. Do not trust the pump. We are still in a bear market. We're supposed to make lower highs, lower lows, and continue shorting the market, and everything is going to crash. That being said, we have Bitcoin at 85,657. Not too bad. Pretty good. Today's rise seems to be just out of the fact that we are too oversold and people are just waking up to realize, hey, you know what, it's Saturday, there's no volatility, we're just gonna buy. So we got a couple of green candles today, which is pretty nice. I do like that. Super trend has finally stabilized itself to invalidate the downtrend at 92,270. Yes, we are still in a downtrend. Oversold levels were pretty great back where I got liquidated. I'm no longer in the game, by the way. I'm out. We hit a lowest point of 80,536, and that happened yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday morning. That's when I got completely liquidated. Even before that, it happened at 2 a.m. But I expressed my frustration yesterday, so we don't have to go over that again today. I'm happy that I kind of get a breather here, although at the price of a couple $1,000, but that's fine. Can make that back. It's no big deal. I'll pull out money from, I don't know, somewhere. You hit a rock and money will come out of it, trust me. So do not worry about that. We're at a resistance level right now, just an immediate resistance, which we're trying to poke through out of right now, depending on how we close this candle. Could confirm whether or not we can continue to see a rise even until, you know, tomorrow, Sunday. That level being 85,500, which is from a Fibonacci retracement level that I drew. I don't know if we should fully be following that for now, but it kind of served as a, you know, support just in smaller time frames. If you're looking at this in like a 1 hour chart, maybe you'd see those levels more clearly. And yeah, we tried rising above that, and we had like 4 candles in a row over here in the 4 hour chart trying to poke past that level, but we couldn't. But now we're on our way back up there, and we're attempting to get a little higher once again. The next immediate resistance, being the next support that was there in the past, would be about 89,000. And then the 92,000 level. Pretty good. Don't like to see Bitcoin where it is at right now, but it's a pretty good price to buy, if you ask me. Not financial advice, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. It is Saturday, so I'm kind of delaying what we're going to talk about for technical analysis. There isn't really too much, but we do have a lot to talk about for the news that has been going on. I delayed yesterday's news about the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire proposal from the United States, this 28-point peace plan that we'll be going over tonight in more detail. A lot more detail. We'll be dissecting each one of those 28 points and what Vladimir 1 has said, what Vladimir 2 has said, what JD has said, what Trump says. All that stuff we'll be looking into. We have some more things that came out from Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation, which it was breaking news yesterday when I was streaming. It was like as soon as I was about to go live, I saw that news. I'm like, no way this is happening. So we kind of gave my first reaction to it in yesterday's stream, but we have more, like I said, that came out, so we'll be going into more detail for that. And then we also have this crazy update from Twitter, X, allowing locations now to be visible. We did cover the fact that this was being planned by the X team, the Twitter team, and it ultimately came out today. A bit shaky of a start. I think it came out yesterday, but they paused it, and now they've continued it today because of some drama. We'll be going into that. It's pretty interesting because, you know, you figure out who the grifters are. You find accounts that talk so much about US politics, and they're not even from the US. They're foreign bots trying to manipulate information or whatever. We don't want those people talking about our nation, am I right? Me talking about the United States in practically every stream. So there's that, and also I do have some more bearish signals, but also some bullish signals. Like I said, I'm still pretty conflicted as to where the market direction is heading right now. Based off of what we've seen, my personal technical analysis, as much as I hate it, and I don't believe what I'm seeing, and it cost me a lot of money, we are in a bear market. And like I said, I don't like to see that, don't want to admit it, basically. It is what it is, but yeah, I think we are in one. Cycle breaking bear market. Something is different with this cycle, but that doesn't mean that this bear market will be for a year and a half or however long it takes. I think this is literally just going to be for a couple months maybe, and maybe 2026 we'll have a really good couple of months. That could be the case. Because there's just so many strong fundamentals. Like I said, the bulls and the bears, they have so much valid points on each side, and I don't know which one to pay attention to. And it's spooky what some analysts have been saying and doing. Robert Kiyosaki, whom I've used as a talking point in the past as well, he sold off a good chunk, and we're going to go into more detail for that. So get ready, stay tuned. Let's get into it. There's my analysis for Bitcoin, what we're going to talk about today. The rest of my positions, they're still there. You know what I did? I closed my SUI position. It was supposed to be $5. I clicked close. It said, okay, position is closed, but it was still open there. I clicked close on this position. I clicked close again, and then it said there's no position to close. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe it's just a system issue. I'll refresh, and the position is still there. I did it again, and it didn't want to close, or it said it was already closed, but the PNL was still moving up and down, and it went from $5 to $4, and then the 24 hours passed, and then it actually closed. So there you go. Whatever. That's, it was nothing anyway. It's not going to help me at all, so don't care too much for it. Rest of markets are a little bit up, but that's because we've just been so far down, honestly. Ethereum is 2,812. I'm not going to give you any specific levels here. We should also expect new pivot levels by tomorrow. 3,000 is your psychological resistance. 3,060 is where the downtrend invalidates. Should be hopefully soon. We'll see what new pivot levels get generated. Let's move on to Hyperliquid. Oh, okay, we're down 9% today. $30 on Hyperliquid. We hit a low of 29 amid sports marketing push. What sports marketing push? This is literally lying. I hate this AI. Bing X AI is always wrong. What is the real reason Hyperliquid is down 9%? Maybe like the sell-off pressure finally caught up to it. That's kind of what I would assume. Bitcoin liquidation spillover, bearish impact. It had a sharp decline to 80,000, which we saw, causing over $2 billion in liquidations, including a record $36.7 million hype position. I don't know if I believe that. Technical breakdown, bearish confirmation, yeah, that's been a thing. And whale accumulation versus market sentiment. Wow, so no real reason as to why we're crashing here. That's fine. I feel tired, I don't know. Can you guys tell that, like, in my voice? I'm running out of breath or something, I don't know. Might die midstream, but that's fine. $30.92. Downtrend now invalidates at 37.21. If these do flip their trends over, I'm going to be doing more kind of like a swing trading type move with these because I just feel like it would make more sense and I'd be doing them in a macro scale. The question is, what indicators would I use? What time frames would I use? That's still another thing I'm going to want to pay attention to. I'll be using the futures markets for what they're supposed to be used for, right? Not for holding long term. Otherwise, Yeah, you're holding with leverage. Something stupid like October 10 can happen. You get liquidated. Yes or yes. I've learned my lesson. There you go. Paid a heavy price for it. Now I'm trying to correct the mistake from the past, but I can't. So I'm gonna have to work for that money to get it back and then do things the right way, hopefully. Good thing about this is that it's a 24/7 market. I'm still a young guy. We've got plenty of time to recover anything. I know what to do. I've studied so much. I know which projects are great. I know which projects suck. And I think I would be fine. So I have that advantage. Who takes away what I've learned? Or what I've teached? Or, I don't know, quote unquote teached. I don't even know if I'm a good teacher. But I'm just doing this basically. I started off doing this channel just for myself, right? I'm like, okay, I got to force myself to analyze markets every day. How do I ensure that I do that? I'll just put it on YouTube. I'll stream it. I'll do it all live. So there you go. Hyperliquid though right now, great. Oversold opportunity, maybe. No, I think we've broken the weekly super trend. We're about to. Oh, if this week closes below that, what number is this? 3102. If we close below 3102, yeah. I think this was kind of what I was expecting yesterday either way. I definitely said these levels right over here, if we do break below this for the week, which I do expect because of the rest of the market, the sentiment that everybody else is seeing on the market, Bitcoin already in a bearish weekly trend, wouldn't surprise me if Hyperliquid would be next, is what I was kind of saying. But other things like Aster, for example, it looked pretty good on the weekly chart. The only difference is that Aster has... Never mind, it wasn't Aster. It was in the 4-hour chart, not in the weekly chart. It still has its uptrend, so that's going well for it. But we don't... I was going to say, like, we don't have enough data on the weekly charts to kind of compare Aster's weekly chart versus Hyperliquid's weekly chart. Which, I mean, both of them really don't have too much history, but Hyperliquid still has a bit more. Yeah, I mean, do with that what you will. Moving on to Solana, 129. It's already flipped its weekly super trend bearish, so that means it should be on its way down even further. I wanted a dead cat bounce. I don't even know where I would expect the dead cat bounce to be. Anything overbought, that's where I just sell off. Or maybe I could just hold on to this. Maybe I avoid liquidation somehow. 121 was our lowest yesterday. Today, where the price is at 129.54. I'm gone at 115. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for this. 0% funding rate. What is this? I've never seen that before. It's usually like 0.00001 in the positive or the negative direction. I don't think I've ever seen it at 0 flat. The shorts are paying longs. It's not too bad. No, but honestly, the whole market sentiment seems to be bearish at this point, which that just justifies this funding rate right over here. So either way, you're making zero commission. Zero commission trading on Solana right now. That's how uncertain the market is. Like, who is actually winning here? Is it the bulls or is it the bears? Come on, we have Solana ETFs out. Volume has been pretty good. Come on now. Whatever. We'll see. Up 1% either way. BitTensor down 1% today. 275.57 is the current price. Our lowest point we hit yesterday was 260. Not a lot of movement today. I don't know what that said, but it was probably nothing. 322 is where this downtrend invalidates. 300 psychological level. We're going to need new pivot levels soon. I'm out at 240. I'm dangerously close to getting liquidated on the rest, but at this point I'm like... Have you seen the meme where the guy is like... It's a scene from a movie. The guy sees a bunch of arrows. It's like this medieval battle that he's in the battlefield. There's all these arrows that get shot up in the sky and they start raining down, like where him and his whole army is. So he just like accepts his fate. He looks up to the sky, puts his arms out, and is like, okay, I'm about to get hit by multiple arrows, so let it be quick and painless. But then none of the arrows just hit him, and they just hit everybody else. And after the wave of arrows land on the floor, he's still alive. He's like, oh, okay, so I'm just going to charge into battle real quick. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing right over here. My arms spread out like, yep, just hit my liquidation price. It's right there. Do your best. And then I'm just still alive. And then I'll be like, okay, if I'm still alive, let's just continue going. Let's go make some money, am I right? Or let's at least take out something. Yeah, I do regret not using a stop loss at this point. Strong bullish rally. Wow, $12.30 is a strong bullish rally according to this AI. They're looking at the 1 minute chart. 1376 is where you would expect the bullish rally for Chainlink, which we still got a distance to cover to reach that. We were going to need a good 11% rise. That can happen in a day. We've seen it. But we're going to need a really good reason. And this kind of movement does not happen on Saturdays nor Sundays. And if they do, you know, you're not supposed to trust them because they'll immediately get wiped clean the next day. So, yeah. Nonetheless, up 2% today. Chainlink's price is $12.35. I like it. Good oversold entry happened right over here at sub $12, right? Anything below $12 would have been a great entry on Chainlink if you're able to snipe that. I've been pretty good with sniping Chainlink entries. Happened a couple of times in the past. Happened with Ethereum once. Happened with, what else was it? I think it was either World Liberty Finance or Pump Fund. Might have been Pump Fund. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Pump Fund is at like historical lows. Like we've never seen, not this one. What is this? Pump BTC. Such a stupid name. Pump.fun. Okay. Yeah, these are lows that we have never seen. Oh no, we have seen these lows. What? So CoinMarketCap just lies to you now. Alright. Alright, good to know. Where's Pump Fund token? Are we not even the top 100 anymore? Here we are. I went to the all-time thing. No, okay, I don't know. I might have been looking at the yearly chart then. Okay, yeah, no, we have seen these lows before. But this is technically almost nearing a floor. 0.23, 22? I don't think we've seen anything lower than this ever since its IPO, or ICO, sorry. That's our historical low, which is where we have a support, 0.22. We're at 0.27 right now on Pump Fund's price. We hit a low of 0.24 with our day before crash. Really? Why did we crash earlier over here? Whatever. And the downtrend invalidates at 0.32. So we're still on a downtrend here. I think I'm going to play it safe. And by that, what I mean is, this doesn't go just for Pump Fund, but for practically any token. I would wait for like a confirmation of any break of this downtrend, right? As soon as we like get up and like start testing it again over here, that's where I'd potentially set up an entry like this, stop below this low point, and take me to the moon. What are we thinking? Would that really work? Because what this normally would mean, right, is that the super trend, first of all, let me lock this in place. Super trend would flip green and it would go to this low level, right? If this is indeed the low point. Price hypothetically should start making higher lows and higher highs in the 4-hour chart. Yes, this will take a while, but ultimately, right, we should expect something decent to happen from here as the super trend turns green and follows this. Wouldn't you agree? Look at that illustration. Drop a like for that. And subscribe. Anyway, no. But yeah, it's going to take a long time. It's something like that I kind of want to do. And I have more faith in the 4-hour chart. And obviously, if it doesn't work, which, you know, you kind of saw this happen over here a couple of times, it would happen in choppy markets where it won't really work. But by then, even still, I think I might move my stop losses to, you know, the average entry price, maybe. And I do this on like random coins that are giving me actual opportunities, regardless of what the project does. If there's an opportunity, I'm going to take it. That's the kind of mentality I'm going to have. Obviously, not in like number 2000 market cap meme coin where it's barely worth 100 million. I'm not going to do that. So it's going to be on like the ones we do know about and talk about sometimes, right? Might be in those cases, but like, see, for example, like this, I'd have something set up kind of like that, right? Below this low point where I'd have a stop. I don't even know how far I could do. 1 to 3 seems ambitious, but probably the right thing. This would have been stopped out unless I, you know, had a stop at the entry price eventually. Would have stopped me out over here. Or maybe, I don't know, if I see prices become pretty overbought for some time, maybe I'll take profit like that. I don't even know. Something like that, though. That is my plan. We'll see if any opportunities like that arise, and if I have the money to do it, sure, I'll do it. I don't know how much I'm going to put, how much I'm going to risk per trade, but that's kind of what I'm planning. Sui just keeps on dropping. I made profit on the short position like I showed you guys with the bonus, so that was fine. We've now surged a little bit. I don't know what the AI said, but it was probably stupid. 138 is the current price. After we hit a low today of 131, today we hit a new low. I'm out at 111 still. Nothing has really changed. Downtrend invalidates at 158. 229 is my average entry. Yeah, not good, huh? Aptos continued dropping a little bit. What do you even call this pattern? It's full red candles, excluding this little doji candle. How many candles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to count this one too. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What's 14 times 4? 56 hours of just constant downward sell pressure on Aptos, which caused it to become really oversold. But now we're kind of about to leave the oversold territory with these 2 green candles that we just got. Lowest point that we hit was 227. Current price is 234. The volatility on this is going to be pretty good. You got a negative funding rate, meaning that there are more shorters than longers. If you're in futures, you will be getting paid the commission. It happened to me in the past. Downtrend invalidates pretty soon, actually, at 270. If you think that's soon, I don't know. This is a 15% rise, but that's the kind of movement that this token can do in a day, because of how oversold it is. Any amount of money that gets added into its market cap, I'm talking billions, it's going to move it significantly. What is the market cap of Aptos? If it is even in the top 40 anymore. Nope, 46. Market cap, 1 billion, 1.72. Dude, that is so oversold. It's crazy. And keep in mind, we've seen market caps before of about 7 billion on a good time period. Last year, 1 year ago, this had an almost 8 billion market cap, meaning that it could hypothetically, I don't know, let me do math here real quick. If this is 7.78 billion and we are 1.72 billion right now, it's about 4.5 of a difference, meaning that this can 4.5x its current price if we get that same amount of money in the market, right? Ideally. This could go to $10 with that kind of money in here. If I'm doing my math right. I'm not accounting for the tokens in circulation. It has a max supply, could be inflationary. We probably, with that kind of a money, you know, not even get impulse to those prices. Or maybe we can, yeah. No, we can. We absolutely can. Because with that same amount of money, Aptos cost $14 last year, right? Today, that same amount of money being put in here, because of the inflation on Aptos, it would only be worth $10. But that's still a really good jump up. Only if only we get that same kind of hype into the market again for Aptos. But there you go. I mean, it is inflationary, so that same amount of money coming into the markets, you're only going as high as $10. That's pretty good for the risk reward. Not financial advice. Looks really good though. But can Aptos truly come back? Like really? That's we're gonna have to wait to see what happens there. Back to Bitcoin here. We crossed 86,000. That's nice. I don't know how long we can trust this pump for. Saturday pumps, don't trust those. All right. That's all for the technical analysis. Let's go ahead and get into the news because we do have a lot to talk about. So, this is the main thing that I saw from yesterday that I decided to postpone until today because it was such a big topic. I felt like it deserved a dedicated stream for it. So that's what we're going to do here. Russia President Vladimir Putin says Moscow has received the US plan for Ukraine. They see it as a possible basis for a final resolution. They are ready for a peaceful outcome, but they are also prepared to keep fighting if there is no deal that has been reached. Okay, passive-aggressive. What is the plan? This is the plan. I teased it yesterday, but it was so long and I didn't want to read it and we were going to run out of time, so I saved it for now. Here we go. The Financial Times has published the entire Russo-American 28-point peace plan proposal. Number 1, Ukraine's sovereignty will be confirmed. Number 2, a comprehensive non-aggression agreement will be concluded between Russia, Ukraine, and Europe. All ambiguities of the last 30 years will be considered settled. Don't worry, I'll give you guys a full summarized version of this in a later post. But this is going into the actual details of everything. Number 3, it is expected that Russia won't invade neighboring countries and NATO will not expand further. Good. Number 4, a dialogue will be held between Russia and NATO, mediated by the USA, to resolve all security issues and create conditions for de-escalation in order to ensure global security and increase opportunities for cooperation and future economic development. Number 5, Ukraine will receive reliable security guarantees. That's what they really wanted, and they're going to get it, finally. Number 6, oh boy, the size of the Ukrainian armed forces will be limited to only 600,000 personnel. It's like they want them to get invaded, whatever. Number 7, Ukraine agrees to enshrine in its constitution that it will not join NATO. And NATO agrees to include in its statutes a provision that Ukraine will not be admitted in the future. This is kind of to make Russia happy, right? Number 8 is that NATO agrees not to station troops in Ukraine. Number 9, European fighter jets will be stationed in Poland. Number 10, the US guarantees that the US will receive compensation for the guarantee. If Ukraine invades Russia, it will lose the guarantee, so that way Russia is also protected at the same time. If Russia invades Ukraine, in addition to a decisive coordinated military response, all global sanctions will be reinstated. Recognition of the new territory and all other benefits of this deal will be revoked. This means in the first place that Russia will have their sanctions removed if this does go into effect. And it would also mean that the territory that they've captured, some of it, they will be able to keep from Ukraine. Next point is if Ukraine launches a missile at Moscow or St. Petersburg without cause, the security guarantee would also be deemed invalid. That way we put both of them in their place. Like, stop fighting, otherwise this whole thing gets cancelled. Which, I don't know. They're pretty close to getting that cancelled if it's that easy to mess up the ceasefire plan just by, attacking each other. Fair enough, right? It's to ensure that they don't do that. Number 11, Ukraine is eligible for European Union membership, and they will receive short-term preferential access to European market while this issue is being considered. Okay, cool. So they won't be able to join NATO, but they can join European Union. Number 12, a powerful global package of measures to rebuild Ukraine, included but not limited to the creation of a Ukraine Development Fund to invest in fast-growing industries, including technology, data centers, and artificial intelligence. B, the USA will cooperate with Ukraine to jointly rebuild, develop, modernize, and operate Ukraine's gas infrastructure, including pipelines and storage facilities. C. Joint efforts to rehabilitate war-affected areas for the restoration, reconstruction, and modernization of cities and residential areas. And D. Infrastructure development, extraction of minerals and natural resources. Oh, well, there's more. F. The World Bank will develop a special financing package to accelerate these efforts. Okay. 13. Russia will be integrated into the global economy. The lifting of sanctions will be discussed and agreed upon in stages and on a case-by-case basis. And B. The United States will enter into a long-term economic cooperation agreement for mutual development in the areas of energy, natural resources, infrastructure, artificial intelligence, data centers, rare earth, metal extraction, projects in the Arctic, and other mutually beneficial corporate opportunities. Oh, there's a C as well. Russia will be invited to rejoin the G8. Good. Number 14. Frozen funds will be used as follows. So there's going to be $100 billion in frozen Russian assets that will be invested in US-led efforts to rebuild and reinvest in Ukraine. The US will receive 50% of the profits from this venture. Europe will add $100 billion to increase the amount of investment available for Ukraine's reconstruction. The remainder of the frozen Russian funds will be invested in a separate US-Russian investment vehicle that will implement joint projects in specific areas. This fund will be aimed at strengthening relations and increasing common interests to create a strong incentive not to return to conflict. 15. A joint American-Russian working group on security issues will be established to promote and ensure compliance with all provisions of this agreement. 16. Russia will enshrine in law its policy of non-aggression towards Europe and Ukraine. 17. The United States and Russia will agree to extend the validity of treaties on the non-proliferation and control of nuclear weapons, including the START 1 treaty. There's more. We're only on point 17, so there's 28, dude. This is so long. Ukraine agrees to be a non-nuclear state in accordance with the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Okay, I have no idea where we're getting into here. What is the Zaporizhzhia? Okay. Zaporizhzhia. Why is there Z and H twice? Okay. Some power plant, a nuclear power plant, will be launched under the supervision of the IAEA, and the electricity produced will be distributed equally between Russia and Ukraine, 50-50. Number 20, both countries undertake to implement educational programs in schools and society aimed at promoting understanding and tolerance of different cultures and eliminating racism and prejudice. What racism? They're both white people. Anyway, Russia will adopt European Union rules on religious tolerance and the protection of linguistic minorities. Both countries will agree to abolish all discriminatory measures and guarantee the rights of Ukrainian and Russian media and education, and all Nazi ideology and activities must be rejected and prohibited. Okay. 21. Territories. Okay, here we go. A. Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk will be recognized as de facto Russian, including by the United States. Okay. Kherson and, here we go again, Zaporizhzhia, okay, will be frozen along the line of contact, which will mean de facto recognition along the line of contact. C. Russia will relinquish other agreed territories it controls outside the 5 regions. D. Ukrainian forces will withdraw from the part of Donetsk Oblast that they currently control, and this withdrawal zone will be considered a neutral demilitarized buffer zone, internationally recognized as territory belonging to the Russian Federation. Russian forces will not enter this demilitarized zone. Good. 22. After agreeing on future territorial arrangements, both the Russian Federation and Ukraine will undertake not to change these arrangements by force. Any security guarantees will not apply in the event of a breach of this commitment. 23. Russia will not prevent Ukraine from using the Dnieper River for commercial activities, and agreements will be reached on the free transport of grain across the Black Sea. 24. A humanitarian committee will be established to resolve outstanding issues. All remaining prisoners and bodies will be exchanged on an all-for-all basis. All civilian detainees and hostages will be returned, including children. A family reunification program will be implemented. Measures will be taken to alleviate the suffering of the victims of the conflict. 25. Ukraine will hold elections in 100 days. Oh, they want the guy out. Number 26. All parties involved in this conflict will receive full amnesty for their actions during the war and agree not to make any claims or consider any complaints in the future. So we're just going to kind of put it behind us, I guess. Number 27. This agreement will be legally binding. Its implementation will be monitored and guaranteed by the Peace Council, headed by President Donald J. Trump. Of course, he wants to put his name in there. Sanctions will be imposed for violations. That includes Ukraine, right? Number 28. Once all parties agree to this memorandum, the ceasefire will take effect immediately after both sides retreat to agreed points to begin implementation of the agreement. Great. No AI wants to help with analyzing this. It's been a day since people have been asking AI for analysis. That's so funny. But yeah, there you go. In short, by the way, Elon Musk quote tweeting JD Vance. JD says, any Ukraine-Russia peace plan has to stop the killing while preserving Ukrainian sovereignty, be acceptable to both Russia and Ukraine, and maximize the chances that the war doesn't restart. Every criticism of the peace framework the administration is working on either misunderstands the framework or misstates some critical reality on the ground. There is a fantasy that if we just give more money, more weapons, or more sanctions, victory is at hand, which is basically what the Democrats have been doing, right? Peace won't be made by failed diplomats or politicians living in a fantasy land. It might be made by smart people living in the real world. Okay, cool. Exactly, says Elon. Putin also talked about this. He made a statement regarding the U.S. plan to end the war in Ukraine. His key points in that speech says that Russia has received the 28-point U.S. peace plan, which could serve as the basis for an agreement with Ukraine. During the meeting in Anchorage, Russia agreed to show flexibility in its approach to a Ukrainian settlement. The U.S. plan for a settlement in Ukraine has not been publicly discussed in detail. Only general outlines have been shared. The text of the plan has not been discussed with Russia in detail. The objectives of the special military operation are being pursued through armed struggle, but Russia is ready to resolve issues peacefully. Russia is prepared for peace negotiations, but this requires a detailed discussion of all aspects of the proposed plan. The U.S. has so far been unable to secure Ukraine's agreement on the peace plan. So we're just waiting on Ukraine, as per usual. Well, they have their warning too. U.S. warns Zelensky of a worse future if Ukraine does not agree to a deal with Russia. And Trump says if Ukrainian President Zelensky doesn't agree to his peace plan, then he can continue to fight his little heart out, is what he said at a press meeting today. Zelensky did say this. I don't know if this was after. I'm going to read it anyway. He says Ukraine... Yeah, it would have been after. Ukraine now faces an extremely difficult choice, either a loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner. Either the complex 28-point plan or an extremely harsh winter. I already gave my answer on May 20, 2019 when taking the oath to Ukraine. What does that mean? Does that mean he's not going to accept? He wants to protect Ukrainian sovereignty? You might as well just accept. Okay, please, for the bitcoins, right? I don't know what he's planning to say from it, but there you go. That was a big segment, but those are all the details of this proposed Russia-Ukraine ceasefire deal. would be pretty big if Trump can get this one done. It was supposed to be done on day one, but there was only like 3 key points that they were trying to get at, and I think nobody on either side between Russia and Ukraine, they didn't like what was being proposed, because Ukraine wanted a security guarantee and Russia was like, well, we're not going to stop. We're winning the war. Why will we stop? So they kind of just ignored it. They visited Trump multiple times. Well, Zelensky did. Oh my gosh, I said Putin. Putin is only visited Trump once in Alaska, but they've had a couple of phone calls here and there. So now they came out with this 28-point proposed ceasefire deal. Let's see if it follows through. Moving on from this, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I discussed yesterday, she has announced that she will be resigning in January 9th, someday in January. And there's been a lot that has come out ever since, so we'll be talking about it. She also posted this video, which I missed. I didn't really talk about it. She's stepping down from Congress. She's warning Americans that there is no plan to save the world. There is no 4D chess being played, insisting that both parties have already betrayed the people. There was talks about her maybe joining the Democratic Party because she had this fight with Trump for whatever reason. She says that she never changed but broke with her party over the H-1B visas issue with the Republicans we're talking about here. The AI takeover, 50-year mortgages, ending foreign wars, demanding the full release of the Epstein files. All things she has always been pushing against, right? Until eventually she did get some stuff her way, at least the Epstein files, right? But the rest of these, I'm guessing this is like not what America First would be, and that's what she was trying to go for, based off of the little understanding that I have. So that seems to be her reason for leaving. Greene adds that no foreign country has any business influencing the halls of the US Congress, and this has to go with the whole Jews control the world thing, right? So there's that. There was also talks that maybe this is a big brain play by her because, I don't know, she's stepping down to avoid Trump endorsing her opponents, because that is something that Trump threatened to do to her. And this was before Trump did the 180 on the Epstein files, by the way. He said no Republican should vote for the Democratic hoax of releasing the Epstein files. That was Trump's original stance on it all. And we know the top 4 Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene included, were the only ones fighting against the whole Republican Party themselves to try to get these Epstein files released. And Trump attacked Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene for this. So, for that reason, she knew she was probably going to lose whatever upcoming election she had in her state of Georgia for the primaries or whatever, and she would be running in 2028 as president. Probably, possibly. That's what people were saying, right? Let me find the exact post. Hold on. I'm spoiling everything. Here, this is it. Marjorie Taylor Greene has privately told allies that she has considered running for president in 2028, according to people close to her. But her own daughter, Lauren Greene, came out to say, no, that's a lie. So what we're speculating here that she may run for president in 28, probably not true. Just pointing it out, okay? Don't get yourself confused. Rachel Scott, I don't know who this is, senior political correspondent covering White House and Congress for ABC. Okay, well, ABC News reporter, I guess. She spoke with Trump on the phone. Trump said that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning is great news for the country. From the country. I think it's great news for the... Okay, well... What is with the grammar? It's great, the president said. I asked if she gave him any heads up. Nah, it doesn't matter, is what Trump said. You know, but I think it's great. I think she should be happy, is what Trump said. When I asked about the president, about the rift between the two of them, the president replied, only between me and her, not her and me. What? He said as of now he has no plans to speak to her, and he wishes her well. The president then quickly turned his meeting with Zohar Mamdani Oh, then they start talking about Zoro Mandami. Okay, cool. Which we also talked about yesterday. Nothing major happened. Like I said, Thomas Massey being a part of the little bits of Republicans who were pushing against the rest of the Republicans when it came to releasing the Epstein files, until Trump eventually caved and he's like, yeah, you know what? I support it. Release the Epstein files. Go. And now they have 30 days to release it. It has to go past the Pam Bondi DOJ, right? Department of Justice. So we're waiting on that. But Thomas Massey also agrees, like, no, that's not great news for the country, the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene has resigned. That same news reporter press conference thing, Trump actually blasted Thomas Massey as the worst Republican in history. So he's still attacking Thomas Massey even after Marjorie Taylor Greene is gone, even after he approved the Epstein files to be released and all that stuff. But I think Thomas Massey and Trump have been feuding since even before Epstein files were a big issue on the table, right? It's probably why Thomas Massey was pushing hard on the Epstein files, even teaming up with Bro Khan, a Democrat, to try to get those released. As kind of like a middle finger to Trump to be like, look, we're going up against you. And I've covered previous posts from Trump also attacking Thomas Massey, just like, get this guy out of Congress, right? He really wants him to go. Trump also criticized Marjorie Taylor Greene for backing Thomas Massey, because they're buddies, saying that their fallout was simply a disagreement. The question was, are you willing to forgive Greene? Trump says, for what? I just disagreed with her. She started backing perhaps the worst GOP congressman in our history, stupid person named Massey. And I said, go your own way. Once I left her, she resigned because she never would have survived a primary, is what Trump gives the reason. But it still thinks that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a nice person, after all. And he wishes her well, is ultimately what he says. I don't know. You kind of ruin her political career by, you hold the power and you're going to endorse whatever her opponent is just because you don't want her to win whatever primary she's going to go for, right? He also, it doesn't end here, also talked about her in another Truth Social post. Says he doesn't have time to text her or message her or call her even, but he's got plenty of time to release paragraphs on her when it comes to Truth Social. So this is the thing that I was talking about, by the way, before we get into the Truth Social post. There's speculation that Marjorie Taylor Greene pulled off the smartest political move of her career. Everyone is treating it like her resignation is a loss, but they're missing the entire point. She didn't quit because Trump scared her off. She quit because she's playing the long game. And fighting a Trump-funded primary smear campaign 2 months before election season kicks off would be spectacularly stupid. So here's what she actually preserved her position as MAGA's undisputed ideological leader, because she has supported Trump, right? She is a Republican after all, and we've seen what she's been going for. Pick any real MAGA issue. So when it comes to Epstein files, food costs, big pharma, America first over Israel first, military-industrial complex opposition, and she's been the most vocal, most consistent voice. That's a track record you don't torch in a petty primary fight. Trump called her a traitor for disagreeing on a few issues. Her response was to bow out gracefully, call out the threats, and maintain the moral high ground while staying politically viable for Senate, governor, presidency, or even VP to J.D. Vance down the line. The brilliant part is that she exits as the principled one who wouldn't play battered wife to Trump's vindictiveness, while keeping herself as a top choice for MAGA's next generation of leadership. No messy primary loss on her record, no algorithmic destruction campaign eating away at her credibility. Just a clean exit with maximum future leverage. So she isn't done. She just refused to let Trump decide when and how her political story ends. That's not weakness, that's chess. Cool. If that is real, and if that is actually the case, great. She probably knows what she's doing. Another bit of speculation is that she probably quit because she did mention in a couple of posts that she was receiving death threats and, I don't know, pizza boxes at her house, that kind of stuff. So to kind of distance herself, or I don't know if she got too scared, she was thinking she's a victim in all of this because of how much Trump has been calling her out. She just decided to step away for a while. But maybe she'll come back. I don't know. I only want her to stay because she's such a good insider trader. But anyways, that's besides the point. Trump said this on Truth Social. Marjorie Trader Brown, because grass is brown or green. It's not supposed to be green. It's brown if it's rotten. That was his reasoning for the name change. But yeah. Because of the plummeting poll numbers and not wanting to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement, where she would have no chance of winning, has decided to call it quits. Her relationship with the worst Republican congressman in decades, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, also known as Rand Paul Jr. because he votes against the Republican Party and really good legislation, it did not help her. For some reason, primarily that I refused to return her never-ending barrage of phone calls, Marjorie went bad. Nevertheless, I will always appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country. So which is it? Do we hate her or do we love her? Whatever. But there you go. There's the farewell. What do other people think? She's a greedy woman. Her love for money over her own country is what led to the trader's downfall, and so many people are eating it up. Why don't you just resign today, Marjorie? I could see that, because she announced her resignation by January. Because this has always been about enriching yourself. Admit it. I know how you operate, sick woman. Okay, relax, Laura Loomer. But AOC has also commented on this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat. She said that Marjorie is carefully timing her departure just 1 to 2 days after her pension kicks in and after making millions of dollars insider trading stocks for weapons manufacturers and others while in office. She's saying a lot, but her actions have not backed up the rhetoric. For all her talk, she's still voting with them to gut healthcare and advance self-dealing corruption schemes. Okay, Democrat. But I'll agree with that part. It is a little suspicious that, I mean, it's not even suspicious. It's just what it is. She is waiting to get some money, you know, the extra last paycheck before she leaves for good. And maybe a couple of good insider trades in just so that she's set for life. She can make another couple $1 million before she leaves. Or maybe it's not even the primaries that scared her off. Maybe it's the Pelosi Act that's coming up that scared her off. Pelosi Act, the congressional hearing on stock trading, insider trading, right? That was held last week. So that would be pretty funny to think of, because she's on top of that list. Now that our queen is gone, now that Nancy Pelosi is out, everybody's looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene as the successor for the insider trading, because she's the next best congressperson with huge returns in the stock market. I'm sure alongside some other dude, I forget the guy's name, and also the Debbie lady from Florida, I think. Is her name Debbie Thompson? Something like that. I might have to look this up. Debbie Thompson. I think that's her name. That is not it. Okay, I'm looking at random people. Congresswoman Florida. What is her name? Is it this one? I think it is this lady. Yeah, this lady. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's also a pretty good insider trader. If Marjorie Taylor Greene is gone, she'll be the next queen successor. Maybe, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, if that day is to come, we'll figure it out. So we did it. She's going to take the $25 million and run. Good riddance. Okay. Other people, Valentina Gomez says, Marjorie Taylor Greene betrayed President Trump and MAGA. Apparently this is also allegedly a thing. She cheated on her husband and children multiple times. She's made millions from congressional stock trading, and now she's resigned from Congress. And then there's just her running for a seat in Congress. Hey, good luck with that. It's not just those people though, but Alex Jones as well. He might even turn on Trump because of this whole issue, and that might be big, because Alex Jones, as we know, is a huge supporter of Trump. He says that he's seriously inches away from not supporting Trump anymore. He said that he will take the matter to God, he will pray about it, but he is conflicted by what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a woman of great integrity, is what he said. So I don't know, it has a bit of people divided here. I'm sure this is fake, but there's a rumor that has been circulating that maybe she will become a host of The View, the TV show, after she leaves Congress next year. These claims are currently unverified, because she appeared on The View, and the women, the other hostesses on the show were really glazing her as like, yeah, you know, you should maybe join the Democrat Party or maybe leave the Republican Party. I don't know. They planted the seed. They did the bad thing. So we're going to have to wait and see what comes out of that next. This one's pretty funny though. Jeffrey Epstein, because of this whole releasing the Epstein files, and the Democrats, for whatever reason, they didn't release it during Biden's term, but now we're going to release it during this term, and now the Democrats want to vote to release the Epstein files because they think Trump is in it. And like, they're willing to self-report as long as Trump goes down with them, right? But here we go, huge. Jasmine Crockett, which I think I name dropped her. If it wasn't yesterday, it would have been the day before, I think. Apparently, Jeffrey Epstein announces that he has donated money to her, to Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas. Crazy. She's linked to Jeffrey Epstein. The announcement comes after Crockett ripped Republicans for accepting donations from this Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. Well, how the turns have tabled. There you go. I just thought it was funny. So, like I said, they're self-reporting as long as for a chance that maybe Trump goes down with them. If Trump is in the Epstein files, they have 30 days. They're erasing Trump's name from it. You're not going to get anything. Why did I drink water when I have tea? Hold on. Dude, I'm already quenched. Okay. We're almost there, guys. No, we're not. We have a lot to talk about still. We'll get into the crypto part of it all. Coinbase believes that the Fed could go for a larger cut. Coinbase says that tariffs are actually pushing inflation down and jobs up, giving the Fed space to go for a larger cut. Does the data really confirm this? I don't know. I mean, yeah, we did add a lot of jobs. Inflation hasn't been rising as much as we expected because of the tariffs. Yeah, we should have a rate cut, which we did. We had two. I still think we should have a third one, by the way. I'm still on the team. Yes, we will get a rate cut in December, but they're thinking we could go for a larger cut, maybe 50 basis points. I think that's a little too bullish, but I'm still a firm believer. Yeah, we'll have the 25 basis point rate cut. Nobody knows for sure. Just saying. We're also starting quantitative easing in 9 days. December 1st. We're almost done the month. That is crazy. The issue is, last time quantitative tightening ended, Bitcoin dipped even more, and you can confirm that by looking at July 29, no, after July. Whatever this would have been, August, I don't know. We did continue to dump for almost a year of sideways and choppiness. I feel like if we are in a bear market, this is the kind of moves we're going to be experiencing. But don't get bored of it. Just accumulate spots, stack sats, and you'll have this kind of movement on your radar coming up next. Maybe the choppiness will be around 100k to 80k. Maybe. If that is even a bear market. In my opinion, that's still really good. Bitcoin, 80 to 100,000. That's fine, dude. I did my own predictions with it all. Bear market should not take us lower than 66,000 based off historical data when it comes to like elections and stuff like that. So, yep, we could very much be in a bear market and things can continue lower for Bitcoin's price specifically. But, I mean, we should have a green flip on the super trend eventually. It should take us maybe towards the 90,000s. And if we are still indeed in a bear market, yeah, it'll push us down lower until the weekly super trend pushes itself down as well. As of right now, it's looking at 120k, which is a far distance, but we'll see. You know what, at this point, even if we do break 100,000 and everybody will think we're so back for Bitcoin, I won't be convinced that we are fully in a bull market again until we break whatever the weekly super trend level is, which as of right now is 120,000. That's an issue. Citibank thinks that Bitcoin will end the year at 82,000. Weren't they calling for, or maybe it could have been another bank, 160K Bitcoin? I think it was another bank. But hey, you're expecting Bitcoin to not move at all and just to slightly decay. Yeah, sure, we'll have our volatility maybe, but we're about to end the year at these prices. I don't know. I think we're going to get some good volatility to move somewhere else. This was shocking news to everyone. Robert Kiyosaki dumps $2.25 million worth of Bitcoin. He confirmed that he sold that amount of Bitcoins at $90,000. He originally bought those coins at $6,000, which means he still made a 1,400% profit. That's pretty good. And he says this is all part of the get rich plan. He's dumping on us. It's funny how much people can change in just a week. This is a post that he put last week. Bitcoin is crashing, November 15. The everything bubbles are bursting. Am I selling? No, I am waiting. Why aren't you selling? The cause of all markets crashing is the world is in need of cash, and I do not need cash. Next week, he proceeds to sell. So which is it? And here's his reasoning, his whole paragraph. Practicing what I teach is what he says. I sold my $2.25 million at 90K, the price of Bitcoin. I purchased them for $6,000 years ago. With the cash from Bitcoin, I'm purchasing 2 surgery centers and investing in a billboard business. Okay, so he's using that to invest more. I estimate my $2.25 million Bitcoin investment into the surgery centers and billboard business will be positive cash flowing, approximately $27,500 a month income by next February, tax-free. Why tax-free? How do you do that? Adding $27,500 a month income to my years of previous cash flow positive real estate based businesses. Okay, what? Previous cash flow positive real estate based business makes my cash flow cushion a bit fluffier into hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. I'm still very bullish and optimistic on Bitcoin and will begin acquiring more with my positive cash flow. So it seems like he wanted to buy something to guarantee him a monthly income and use that to DCA into Bitcoin. Could be smart, could be dumb. I don't know. You're using $2.25 million worth of that. Can your passive income outpace the growth of Bitcoin if you just left that money in there in the future? We're talking years down the road. I don't know. I mean, sure. $2 million, secure the profits. Why not? It's your money. You're not Michael Saylor. You're not obliged to hold on to it forever. So, fine. I don't mind Robert Kiyosaki selling off. I mean, I probably would have too. But, I don't know. A lot of people are upset about, the stuff that he's been saying in the past. And then he's like, okay, well, you're just going against what you've been saying. What are you doing? This has been my get rich plan since I began playing Monopoly with my rich dad for over 65 years, which I've read that story on my channel. I'm not saying my plan should be your plan. Warren Buffett would think my plan is too slow and foolish. Warren has his plan. Donald Trump has his plan. What is your plan? Your get rich plan? If you have read Rich Dad and Poor Dad, I have, and you've played my cash flow board game, I have not done that, you will recognize my latest Bitcoin acquisition of income, generating real estate with tax and debt advantages. Okay, I guess that's how he does the tax-free thing. Being played out in real life. I do know how the cash flow board game works, though, because I read the story on it. It's basically like the rat race thing, right? I was advised against posting my Bitcoin liquidation and acquisition of real estate. You may know why I was advised against being transparent. Too many sickos out there. Yet in a world of fake dollars and fake teachers, I thought it best, I practice what I teach. Okay. More important question is, what is your get rich plan? Please take care. Our world economy is going on a wild ride. Okay, all right, sure, thanks, whatever. You know who thinks they're smart right now? James Wynn. He said he knew to short Bitcoin because of common sense and real world experience. Remember when we were all calling him foolish for shorting and we saw the bounce at 100K and we're like, haha, see, we told you you're stupid. This bounce right over here. Well, it looks like he was right because we just kept on dropping. So I've said it before, broken clock is right twice a day. So congrats. Hey, if you're still bullish, you have Jim Cramer on your side because he's not on your side, if that makes sense. He declares that this is the worst moment for Bitcoin, says that there are real issues, there is no magic wand, and more people need to get out of crypto. Every time this happens, we already know what happens next, right? Inverse Cramer effect. It outpaces Nancy Pelosi's stock insider trader portfolio. Come on. Should hopefully be a good thing. But we'll see. Maybe that broken clock is right twice a day too. All-time high ETF volume in a dead market. Okay, so he's saying, is the markets dead? No, because we're getting ETF volume at all-time highs. The question is though, where is that volume coming from? The buy side or the sell side? I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it's coming from the sell side. Record selling on Bitcoin and crypto. The volume means selling. But that being said, is it over? No, it's not over. I still have faith in the Bitcoin project and a lot of the projects that are out there for crypto. I'm out of money, but you know, I'm still applying for work around here. But if I do get something, I'll let you guys know. Why do I have to let you guys know? What do you guys care? What do you care? But anyway, I'll use those funds, of course, continue DCAing and trading, using the profits from trading into DCAing even harder. I will be doing more spot more regularly. Or if I'm feeling spicy and I confirm the fact that we are in a bear market again, maybe, just maybe, I will use 2x leverage on futures. I know, right? 2x leverage, that is so risky, but we'll see. But you know, like I said, Bitcoin still has its use cases. If you need to move $1 million fast, what are you using? Obviously, Bitcoin. I think the others are just Solana, literally altcoins. Okay, come on, crypto. You're not using gold. You're not using bank wire transfers. You don't need any of that. And another poll is out here. If you have $100,000 in cash, and you can only buy one of these, what are you going to invest in? Real estate, Bitcoin, gold, or stocks? A lot of people pick gold. 60% picked gold. Wait, no, Bitcoin. What am I talking about? Yeah, a lot of people picked Bitcoin, not gold. Sorry, misspoke. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, this is also big news that happened with Twitter. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to the whole thing. If I literally look up the word location, this has been all over everybody's Twitter feeds, is the fact that Twitter has now allowed you to check where each Twitter profile's location is based on. This is to, like I said at the beginning of the stream, stop these fake accounts. People in India opining on US politics. What are you talking about? We don't need your opinion. Is kind of what the sentiment on here is. The official DHS account of the United States, this is where a lot of the controversy came from though, Department of Homeland Security, was revealed to have been created in Israel. And that has a lot of people concerned, right? They joined in 2008 from Israel. I saw the screenshot of this, assumed it was a joke, but apparently it's real and confirmed by Grok. So the geolocating features were shortly disabled after going live, after this blew up on Twitter, the fact that a US account is being run by a foreign country. And that has become a sensitive topic, a huge thing in all of crypto Twitter. Not crypto Twitter, just Twitter in general. What am I talking about? So they kind of removed it, like the ability to view where accounts are from, but the damage has already been done. And now they've reinstated the feature that shows country of origin on user profiles. But now government accounts have been exempt from this change, which means that now you cannot see where the government account is from, right? Come on. This follows earlier reports showing that the official US Homeland Security page was based in Israel. So They had this to say about it. They're memeing on it all. They love it. So, date joined 2008 in Israel. Account based in Tel Aviv. All right. Pretty funny. So, there's that. And it wasn't just that, but it was also, like I said, the other people, the Indians, other people being based in Nigeria, pretending to be from other countries. West Asia. Okay. And we know Mario Nawfal, right? Huge crypto, not specifically crypto, but huge account on Twitter that posts all the news. I use his posts, right, to show you guys stuff that's going on. The Zoran Mondami meetings. He gives good summaries about it all. But people are like, oh, this guy's not even from the US. He's from Asia. Why is he talking about this kind of stuff? I mean, you're allowed to talk about it, in my opinion. So I'm fine with it. I don't mind too much of that. But where things got really crazy is this whole Canada situation. That's right. We're back. We're back. Several X accounts associated with the CBC, Canada Broadcasting Corporation, as well as official accounts of the Liberal Party and the New Democratic Party. These are all leftist organizations and leftist party, right? The Liberal Party of Canada have been revealed to be run out of the United States after the platform began displaying geographic data on profiles. Literally, account is based in the United States, a Canadian political party. What? There's the NDP, there's the Liberal Party based in the United States, there's the CBC, news broadcasting station based in the United States, CBC News based in the United States. It's not just that, but it's a lot more. Or I don't know if I'm getting played again, but hey, at least we're based in this sense. Conservative Party account based in Canada, that's authentic. There's your stamp of approval. Well, this one is here first. Let me talk about this. Liberal Party of Canada X account is being run from the US, whereas the Conservative Party account is being run from Canada. They're paying an American to post during their boycott. Yeah, what's up with that? We're talking about liberals hate Americans because Americans want to invade us and Trump is putting these useless tariffs on us. So their loss, we're no longer partners with America. That's what the Liberal Party thinks. We're going to go, help out Europe or have them help us out. And same with China or use other people in other countries, right? They're just doing this to themselves, man. You're getting played. They're literally based in the United States. They don't want anything to do with Canada. They love their foreign workers, quite literally. So there's that. Pretty funny. And here's another list of all liars. Stuff like, I think this guy, if I'm not mistaken, okay, date joined in Bahamas, account based in Canada. Sure, that's fine. But this account was known for opining a lot on US politics, even going to the extent of saying, I'm voting for Joe Biden. I'm voting for Kamala Harris in this election. And the guy's not even from the United States. Like, this is the kind of, I don't know if I want to say danger, but the kind of thing that's going on with these accounts, right? It's getting out of hand. So there's Republicans against Trump, account from Austria, anonymous. You can also change it to continent instead of a country. So there's that as well. Bangladesh accounts talking about America. South Asia, East Asia, which we covered, Mario Nawfal. Doge designer from India, which he's already confirmed, but Baron Trump news. These fan accounts of the Trump family? Literally accounts from Macedonia. Okay. Stuff like that. But it's funny. We can now expose the grifters. Okay. I don't know why I clicked on that. Yeah, I think we got the point. And if you're curious about mine, there's also an issue with this, and this is why I don't know if I really want to believe any of this. Okay, well, they got rid of it. Why did they get rid of it? I can show you. I took a screenshot. Hold on. My account. This is why I'm saying you can't really trust this. All right, here we go. This is what it said. Date joined June 2024, which is when I started streaming. I created this Twitter account to get all the Twitter news, right? And I used the Twitter news ever since I started streaming last year to kind of go over all the stuff for my streams. And my account is based in Canada. Yeah, that is true. I am from here. But the Netherlands, that's not true. I did not join from the Netherlands. I have nothing to do with the Holland. I'm not from there. What happened is I use a VPN just to access, the broker, the exchange, BingX's services, because you're not allowed to use it in Canada. I know, shock. But you're allowed to use it in South America. I've done KYC with my South American identity because I have dual citizenship. Big flex. But I use the VPN from here, which changes my location to Europe because you're allowed to use BingX in Europe. And the Opera browser that I use, it has a free VPN, and it sets your location to the Netherlands. I don't know if I should be disclosing all this stuff. I could maybe get my account banned. Don't ban me. But yeah, that's why it originally said from the Netherlands. But this is not real, okay? I'm not from Netherlands. And that's why I was thinking, you can't really trust where the account joined from. I guess you could trust where it's based out of. It can be impacted by recent travel or temporary relocation, may not be accurate, and can change periodically. Sure, that's fine. Another thing you could pay attention to is connected via where? The Canada Android app. Sure, yeah, I'm an Android user. What about it? So there's that. If you use a VPN when you create your account, yeah, it will show that your location is in a different place, even if it's not correct. I'm not from Netherlands, I'm from Canada. Just letting you know. Don't fully trust it. It's just recently rolled out, so it's a bit buggy. And we're already trying to censor government accounts. Protect government accounts from, if they're based in Israel. That's pretty funny. So yeah, there you go. We had a good rise, 86,270. We dropped back down to 85,800. What to expect for tomorrow? Well, new pivot levels, and nothing much in particular. No economic data tomorrow, Sunday. Monday, nothing either. Tuesday, we'll be getting producer price index. Would be good to know the inflation data from it. Are we getting CPI? I don't think we're getting CPI for September. Maybe it's just delayed to a different date. I know I said that we're not getting CPI for October. And that the November one is going to be delayed far into December after the Fed FOMC meeting. Or maybe we already got CPI. And I'm just ignorant. Whatever, this will help either way. Inflation data Tuesday. Cool. And also ADP. Should help a little to determine how things are going. The time is wrong. I just realized that. We're in UTC -5 right now. There we go. Because we had the daylight savings time hour change earlier this month. So I forgot to change that on this. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, that should conclude the stream for tonight. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the video. And yeah, I'll follow up tomorrow. We'll see what else there is to discuss. Don't trust the pump that we're seeing right now. Although, you know what? Might give you a pass this time around. Because we're pretty oversold. We're pretty darn oversold. So just don't expect price to go past 92,000 too easily, okay? Without any issues. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right. That's all for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.